Do you have problems with your roundabouts? Multi-lane roundabouts? How about your multi-lane streets? Because I know there's people out there that won't use 6-lane roads because they have a tendency to do this. Single lane or backup, right? What I call zombie traffic. There's a couple problems here, but by the time we get to the end of this episode, I think you'll be able to look at this and point out one distinct problem. The reason we're using this map to talk about it is because it's something that is a fundamental rule in city skylines that everybody just kind of misses. And I don't mean everybody. It's called lane reservation, and all roads do it. Take a look at this. Do you see the spiral? Do you see that they're in the second lane here? Out of this 4-lane, okay? In this 4-lane road, they're in the 3rd lane here. So they're from here to there, they're going from the 2nd lane to the 3rd lane. Here, they're going from the 3rd lane to the 2nd lane and doing a lane change in the middle of the intersection, which is something not a big fan of. And that 3rd lane stays consistent all the way to this intersection, and now the same traffic is in the 4th lane. Now, all of this traffic here, this is not like a traffic jam. This is a backup because of this situation out here. And I always coined it zombie traffic or traffic backup, and it looks rather organized, right? I mean, they're in the 2nd lane here, then the 3rd lane here, and their 4th lane here. Well, let me show you why they are in the 4th lane here. That's through traffic, that's through traffic, and that's through traffic. Well, no, that's traffic trying to get to this street. Here, let me show you. Lane reservation. Every street that you use that intersects another street reserves lanes. I'm going to use these 2 boulevards, 4-lane boulevards, to explain why these guys are cascading around the roundabout. Let me begin. I'm going to call this intersection A, that's intersection B. Seeing that there's 2 lanes that they can off the roundabout on, we're going to call that the right lane, the left lane, the right lane, the left lane, and that's B, okay? These 3 lanes are dedicated to these 2 streets, oddly enough, because of lane reservation. The limit of lane reservation is 2 streets, or 2 lanes. So if this was a 6th lane, which 3 lane on this side, 3 lane on this side, they would only reserve 2, right? They can only reserve 2, or 1. They can't reserve 3. They can use 3, but they can't reserve and dedicate these lanes for their purpose. Do you know what I mean? Let me show you how organized the traffic is. Oh, I bet you we can follow him right down to the left lane. Unless he's trying to cut in. Oh no, now I'm being squirreled, so... Is he trying to get in? He's driving by. He's driving by. Is he going to go for the left? No, it was through traffic going for the 2nd lane. Oh no, it was one of the other lanes, the other 3 lanes here. 2 lanes. I need to count. Learn to count. Alright. So you can see here that this says it's a dedicated lane, which means the only people that are allowed to use that lane up until this intersection are for right turns only. The next lane is for the left turn, right? It's still a right turn off, but they're going into the left lane of that intersection, of intersection A. It also has a straight arrow. The traffic using that are going to go straight and then do an immediate right-hand turn. Let me see if I can catch that. These 2 cars, they're going to do a right-hand turn into the right-hand lane. Right? So that's reserved for that only. That's reserved for the left lane and for the right lane of the next intersection. Right? This is reserved for the left lane of the B intersection. This is the through traffic. So, if you're not going to the left lane, if you're not going to the right lane, or the left lane here, or the right lane, you use that lane. Well, then why does it cascade to there? Because after you pass this intersection, there's only 2 lanes available. One for the right, one for the left. Right, one for the right, one for the left. This will also be a through traffic for beyond that intersection. So then when you get past to this intersection, all of a sudden, right, there's the 2 dedicated lanes for this intersection, and that's also being called a through lane. But here, right-hand turn only, and then the second one, which would be the, I guess, the leftish kind of lanes. Does that make sense to you? Lane reservation. As a matter of fact, let me show you how I can change the lane reservation and prove my point. I'm going to reduce this one to a 2-lane, speed the bejeebers out of this, speed 3 at 100%. And what you're going to watch is that them fall out of the 4th lane and drop right to the 2nd lane, because I just eliminated 2 lanes, so I should have freed up 2 lanes, and I did, because here it's a right turn or through to the next right turn, which means that's a through traffic, that's a through traffic, and this is being dedicated for right turns for the next 2 intersections. Actually, most likely all 3, because it'd be common. See that? See how they're already lining up in the 2nd lane? Because that's through traffic. So what was going on is through traffic was being pushed over to the left. So, like if you've got a highway and they're all jamming in the left lane, it will mean that somewhere, if it's a 3-lane highway, somewhere you put a 2-lane ramp. And because of that ramping, it's got them pushed over to the left lane. Same if you're using a 6-lane. If you're using a 6th lane and everybody's just jammed into the left-hand lane and they're making right-hand turns through traffic and doing all kinds of stuff from that left-hand lane, it means they're being pushed over there. There are road pieces that are too big or too many lanes, that they're hogging the road essentially, right? So see how they've all turned around here or changed? They're in the 2nd lane, 2nd lane, 2nd lane. This looks more like zombie traffic. And it's lane reservation. Change it back. Oh, that's a 6th lane. Bingo, bingo. We're still at 100%? No. 3 arrows. And hopefully there's enough traffic here that it will. Oh, there should be. They're backed up pretty good. So what they will do now is they'll start pushing back in the other. You'll see this push over in the 4th lane again, because there's 2 lanes dedicated. Whoops. 2 lanes dedicated for here, 1 dedicated for the next one, or these 2 dedicated for the next one. I like how they're trying to butt into the lane. There we go. See? They're already lining up in the 4th lane now. It's the law of the roads. Lane reservation. It gets people so often. Did you ever think that just over here they would have mapped out the next 2 streets like that? Automatically? No one ever thinks of that. Pretty much no one. So, if we took that newfound knowledge and brought it over here, that's a 6-lane one-way, that's a 6-lane one-way. If they're reserving 2 lanes here and then 2 lanes there, because that's all they can reserve is 4 lanes, does it make sense why they're in the 5th lane? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they're saying that 3 can turn. 2 are dedicated, 1 is a split. So I wonder if 6 lanes have a slightly different rule. We'll deal with that some other time. Lane reservation. or reserving lanes. That's what road pieces do. Understand that, get that under your belt, and you'll be able to stop a lot of single lane traffic jamming. Hope that works. Ciao for now. Have fun.